What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back, guys. It's been a bit of a slow last 10 days for news, and today we got a banger from Hot Toys. I'm talking about the comic-inspired version of Joker from The Killing Joke, one of my favorite comic books of all time. And honestly, this creates a bit of a wish list for me as well. So let's talk about the figure, because they nailed this bad boy, but also what could be around the corner from this lineup. Stick around if you guys like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and let's get into it.
I give you Ben Thomas Showtime. Here we go.
Okay guys, welcome back. So one of my favorite parts about The Killing Joke as a story, if you haven't had a chance to read it, is it does give you an opportunity to kind of get familiar with a variation of an origin story of where the Joker comes from and kind of the sad man that he was leading up to his first stint as the Red Hood, and then what happens to him, how he becomes disfigured essentially by Batman to become the Joker. And it's a really cool storyline. There's lots of different characters within the book that you get a chance to see. You do get a peek inside the Batcave, of course, during the book as well. So you get to see the dinosaur and the big coin and all that as well, if that interests you. You also get a couple chances to see different variations of the Batman outfit throughout kind of the years of this history of these characters. And this was a great read. Now, it's awesome with this figure because, of course, they're showing the cover of the book, right? Right in the figure format here. They're giving us two different head sculpts, one with the eye closed, so you can have this position with the camera up. I love the detailing on the camera. It's saying that wits right on the front. That's fantastic. It's perfectly accurate to the comic book. The collar on the outfit looks really great. Honestly, even the strands of like sculpted hair that comes down in front of the hat, perfect when it comes to the comic representation. And I always liked this story because of the dramatic effect that it had on me as a reader. One of the story beats in the story, not to give too much away, just in the event you haven't read it, is there's a scene in which Joker essentially breaks into Barbara Gordon's apartment while Commissioner Gordon is there with them, having cocoa, just having a nice father-daughter time, and Joker shoots Barbara right in the waist and actually severs her spine. So at this point, this is when she thankfully survives and goes on to become the Oracle for Batman. But in the story, it's devastating because Jim Gordon also has to kind of watch the Joker standing above Barbara's body and then takes Gordon hostage. And that's a whole other crazy storyline within the book. So there's a lot of meat on the bone with regards to a comic book inspired line in the figure lineup here, which I appreciate. But let's talk more about the figure first, and then I'm going to give you guys maybe some wish list items that I'd hope to see more of if this is the direction they're going. So the sculpts, they're fantastic. I think the age lines, the teeth detailing on both sculpts are really, really good. I love kind of like the crusty nature around his teeth and the yellowing. That looks really good. Talked about the hair already. In terms of hair sculpting, really good. Really, really good. The hat does fit big, but it does look like that in the comic, so not worried about there. I love the camera piece. It's interesting to me that they went in with a magnetically attachable tongue just for expression differences. I like that feature. Not something that I felt like was needed, honestly, if this was going to be a wish list figure for me, but it's sweet that it's in the box. I also love the gun that comes with the click, click, click flag, because in the book there's a point at which the Joker has the gun drawn on Batman and pulls the trigger and the sign pops out. And so it's a bit anticlimactic because for a half second there's just one little shot of Batman's face where he thinks he's going to get shot, and not the case. Of course, it's, you know, a joke, right? But that was a great scene in the book as well. So I love the fact that they've included that there. The knife looks great. Couple of different interchangeable hands. I think that the outfit color is pretty darn close. If I'm being honest, I think the green on the collar could have been a little bit darker, but that's like super, super nitpicky. I think that that's very, very minor. This absolutely nails the look of this representation of Joker. Now, what are we going to pair this guy with? That's the wish list piece that I want to talk about, because again, we get at least two different looks for Batman that we don't have in figure format yet. So of course, Joker needs his Batman. He does. I would also love to see potentially a Red Hood, because the character is manipulated into wearing the Red Hood for kind of this crime spree before he becomes his iconic Joker self. So having a Red Hood figure in the display would also show some level of evolution of the character, which I think would be a really cool display piece. So if we never got a Batman, they could easily do a Red Hood, and I think that they could nail that look. I would also love to see potentially a Barbara Gordon or a Jim Gordon from this set, because again, the scene with Barbara was so impactful for me the first time I read it that I felt devastated. Like it was a hard read, and I think that could be a cool display. Now, some would argue, Ben, if you've read the comics, which of course I have, this is not actually what the Joker is wearing when he shoots Barbara. He's actually wearing more of like a Hawaiian outfit, which you can see here on the screen. And to be honest, it's a great look too. If they've gone in and done the sculpting for the Joker, why not give us the Hawaiian shirt variant at some point as well? Maybe down the line. I don't need two of these Jokers right away, but to fill out a whole comic display could be really cool. Again, in terms of wish list though, I'd rather see a Batman with this guy right away, then down the line maybe a Hawaiian shirted Joker with a Barbara Gordon. The evolution of the Red Hood in there could be really cool. And of course, if you like the comic books, then again, I would like to see some kind of diorama display made by either Hot Toys or another company. Maybe one of you folks out there is creative enough to create your own Batcave display with, again, the dinosaur or the big coin or some of those things. That could be really, really cool. You know, for me, I wasn't too sure what we would get out of the comic book line from Hot Toys, because the other piece of the reason that I collect Hot Toys is for realness, right? I want to feel like when I look at a 6 scale figure that I am looking at a 1/6 scale shrunken down representation of a person that I've seen in a film. So for me, I always feel a little conflicted when it comes to comic book line, because while I absolutely freaking love this comic book, do I need the figure representation? I would say on this one, it's a yes for me. This is one I'm going to bring home. You know, the Dark Knight Returns Batman, well, that one was really cool, and I love the Dark Knight Returns comics as well. Didn't feel like I needed that representation. I would rather have the Batman that I showed you earlier, or honestly, a Batman from the Nightfall series. We just recently got that Nightfall Batman from the Arkham Origins game, but I would love to see an opposing, you know, blue cowled, yellow symbol, gray outfit Batman to go along with this even. While it wouldn't be perfect for this comic book, they'd be slightly different looks, that could still be a really great look. Now, some of you also might have the Sideshow variants from the past. There was a comic-inspired Sideshow variant of Batman that came out, and I have some friends that say that's one of their favorite Batmans in their display, so you could kind of futz that one in if you had it already and still look really great. There was also a representation of the Joker that looked very much like this from the past as well, but I do think that this one is superior. It blows me away just looking at this while I talk about all my love for this, how much the red lips pop. It is crazy, and the maniacal look in his face and his eyes, crazy. The detail even in the eyes, like I love the green pupils, like that is really, really good. Now, I think the only critique that I actually feel a little spicy maybe about with regards to this line is the price point. I get it. This is a new design. It's a popular character. People are going to want this. $270 this is showing up for on Sideshow. But when we've been blessed or teased by the fact that Hono, which also represents a bit of a comic-inspired line, can give us figures like Wolverine, for example, with the big seamless silicone arms and everything at $165, $270 feels like an extremely high price point for this. It's not an actor's likeness that's in there. The DC license, I've been told, isn't always the most expensive license to get in on, which is one of the reasons that we see so many companies doing DC lineups. So is it because it's got the comic name attached to it? But so does Hono to a certain extent with some of the Marvel characters and some of the other pieces that we've seen. So why is this $270? Like, again, I think it's awesome, and I'm probably going to buy it. So, you know, when talking about drinking the Kool-Aid, like, that feels like very much like I don't want to pay that amount, but I will anyways. So why would they ever change the price? Why would they ever lower it if they know collectors like me are going to buy it still? But I always think about new collectors in the hobby or veteran collectors in the hobby who are starting to burn out on how many crate pre-orders we have, right? I mean, I've had like a 10-day hiatus of videos in the last 10 days because there hasn't been a lot of news. But right up to that point, I did like 6 videos in 2 days. There is cool shit coming out all the time. And this is the new hotness today. But if you're a veteran collector, you are already prioritizing space, dollars, collection, what is your vision for your collection, and how often we are challenged with, do I need this or do I just want this? And my point is that if there's a price point that's provided to us, like a Hono, sometimes it's almost too hard to say no to, right? $1.65 for Wolverine, pretty much everybody got one, because like, why not? It's so good, and it's an awesome price, and it looks cool. Like why the heck not? But for $2.70, if this isn't your favorite comic book, or you don't need a Joker, or you're like, well, I don't have a Batman to pair him with, so all of the reasons that we as collectors give ourselves to try to not convince ourselves to buy these things, the price point is a great deterrent for people. And if you want collectors to drink the Kool-Aid, get in on these lines, keep spending their money, I would love to see a reduction in the price point for the comic-inspired lines, like we've seen from Hano. Maybe not $1.65, but like $2.10, right? Like, give us a price point to which I'm like, it's hard to not recommend this at that point. That would be, I think, my only kind of spicy pull from this, because otherwise, I think it's freaking awesome. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, are you picking up the Joker? Is this one that you've been maybe waiting for, anticipating? Do you love the book, just like me? I think this is an absolute buy for me. I would say this is honestly a 9 out of 10 for what you're getting out of this figure, especially when relating it to the comic books itself, like literal pages ripped from the book and on this figure screen. They nailed it. They just didn't nail the price for me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys liked the video today, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully there's more news this week. Let's get nuts. We'll be back on Sunday. We'll catch you guys then. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Wow, what a great audience. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Because subscribing makes you feel good.
Where should I go? What should I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It's gone. It's all gone.